All right, you're listening to Geek Vice, the podcast that thinks it's about goddamn time Becky Lynch wins the WWE Women's Championship. You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
I don't even know what that means.
Well, that's why all the opinions expressed in this show are mine and mine alone.
There you go. Welcome, everybody, to Geek Vice, episode 142, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name's Morph. That man's Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
I would like to throw out there that we are the official official podcast of the Podcast Arcade podcasting network. That's a lot of podcasting.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're the official.
Well, we got to be official.
We're officially part of it.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. All right. So we've got a website now, though. The Podcast Arcade has a website. It is thepodcastarcade.com. And right now there's a placeholder on it. That thing's going to be going live on the 16th. So a couple days after people hear this, there will be a website to go check it out. So
synchronize your watches.
That's right. We are part of this. The Geek Vice is part of it with Daydream Instruction Manual, the Goad Kicker, Falcon Punch Thunder Dad, the Underground Inc.
Underground Inc.
And I feel like I'm missing one.
Us? Maybe?
No, that's it. That's 5. 5 of us. There's 5 different podcasts. So go enjoy, check them out. Eddie, who was on this show last week as a co-host, is the founder of it. We talked about a little bit about it, and he said that the website was coming soon. Well, he's right. The website is coming soon. It is. We'll be here on the 16th.
Eddie is the pod father.
He is. That is great. That has got to be his name on his card. The pod father.
I can't take credit for it. One of our listeners, I guess not George Wendt, I guess is his Twitter handle. We'll go by that. It was a good idea.
I like it. So, yeah, we that thing's going live. So we are an official member of the Podcast Arcade. So go check them out, and that's thepodcastarcade.com. Enough of that hibba jibba. What's up with you, Kip? You guys have been traveling like crazy, but your travel schedule was not why you weren't here last week.
This is true. So the last 2 weeks, I was in town for 2 days. So that's pretty good. At least they were consecutive days. I can say that.
Yeah, that is true.
Last week, like I said, the Podfather, Eddie, was on, and I was not because I was at WWE Monday Night Raw here in Kansas City. And we got to sit in a suite at the Sprint Center, so we were separated from the unwashed masses. And I could survey my kingdom. But it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I think just about any event where you get to sit in the suite and eat and drink as much as you want for free makes that event much, much better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the suites are cool. I've been in the Sprint Center suites once.
Was that for Miley Cyrus?
No, that was
Justin Bieber?
No, it was either Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Mannheim Steamroller.
Oh, those are good. I can't give you no time about those.
Yeah, one of those two. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was one of those two. It was something like that, though. But the sad thing, there's one downside to suites. Once you sit in a suite and once you enjoy a suite, it is really hard to go back to like the masses and sit with them.
Oh, definitely. And we were spoiled. So this is my Labor Day weekend. It started on Thursday night, sitting in a suite at Arrowhead Stadium watching the Chiefs take on the Green Bay Packers. So, and that suite came with its own bartender named DJ, and he was freaking awesome. Good storyteller, good drink maker, and for some reason, Siri just kicked on for no apparent reason.
Hi, Siri.
And, yeah, I wonder why that was. So, what's funny is, I'll get to that. We had DJ, the bartender. The food was Tex-Mex in style, so there was fajita meat and there was all sorts of melted cheeses and sour cream and all that stuff, so you can make fajitas, nachos. You get the idea.
Nacho cheese.
Cheese that isn't yours is nacho cheese. But anyway, so that was Thursday night, and then Friday morning we drove to Tulsa. Had a really good time in Tulsa. Highly recommend the Tulsa Air and Space Museum.
Nice.
They've got a planetarium in there, which is kick-ass. If you have a stiff neck or neck problems, avoid it. My neck was so sore because you kind of lean back in the chair and stare at the ceiling. Yeah, it kind of cramps up after a while. And maybe it's just because I'm old. That could be it.
Well, yeah, you are old, so.
Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, we did that. We did the Philbrook Museum. We just did touristy things. We went to Route 66 and ate at this really cool diner called Tally's. Old, like, 50s style diner. Really good breakfast. Just had a good time there. Got back, and Monday night we went to Monday Night Raw in the suite at Sprint Center. And to go back to the suite at Arrowhead, the food at the Sprint Center was Tex-Mex themed. We had nachos and fajitas, and it's like, is this all they serve in these suites? What the hell's going on here? But,
pretty much. That's the easiest thing to do because it's only like 4 ingredients they have to have.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was good, and the fridge was packed. We didn't have a bartender for the Sprint Center, but they keep the fridge stocked. I partook in a few alcoholic beverages, and then I had to take it easy because I was the driver, and I had to finally go back to work the next day. So I had to do that. But it was fun. Being at the Chiefs game and WWE, I've drawn the conclusion that the drinking age or the legal right to drink should not be based on age. It should be based on IQ. I'm pretty sure 75% of the people at the Chiefs game and maybe the same percentage at WWE would not be allowed to drink if that was the case. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a good time. Judgments aside, we just had a blast. My favorite thing from the wrestling show was the suite to the right of us had a bunch of, I'd say, kids ranging from 8 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins was wrestling, what the hell's that guy's name? Chris Jericho. So to paint the picture, both of them do not wear a shirt. Seth Rollins wears long pants, and Chris Jericho wears like the wrestling trunks, I guess you'll call them.
Yeah.
And they're wrestling, they're doing their thing, and one of the kids yells out, "I don't like the underwear guy." So Chris Jericho's the underwear guy, apparently. Got a good laugh out of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. When the wife and I go to events like this, especially sporting events, it's rare that we stay for the whole thing. It's really rare, and
Yeah.
mostly because we're old and we want to beat traffic. But we actually did stay for the entire WWE Raw night, and which was cool because they do a lot of things after it goes off air. So we got to see some things that the television audience did not get to see, which was good. You kind of feel like you're on the inside, but you're not really.
Special.
I'm special, but yeah. So if you ever have a chance to have a 4-day weekend where you start and finish the weekend in a suite you did not pay for, drinking alcohol you did not pay for, eating food you did not pay for, while your car is parked in a parking stall you did not pay for, I highly recommend it.
It's good to have connections. And for the record, Kip does not have those connections because of Geek Vice. So nobody call us up wanting sweet tickets to something at the Sprint Center. Geek Vice does not have these, although you can try and ask, and maybe Kip will be nice enough to divulge his sources. But I'm going to go with no.
Well, to show you how nice it is, you noticed I went and Morph did not.
Yeah, exactly.
That shows you how much I share.
So, who's Elvis Cole?
Who is Elvis Cole?
Yeah, I don't know who
Don't
that
you
is.
listen to this show?
No?
Elvis Cole. He is a character in a series of books by Robert Crace.
Have we talked about this on the show before?
We did a book episode.
What was the title of the book that you did? Because I don't remember. I remember doing the book episode.
Yeah, so do I, but man, it was a long time ago, I guess. Either that or I take shitty notes. That could be it.
Well, I would go with you take shitty notes. But it wasn't the Ezekiel Boone one, was it?
No, it was not.
Because that was the last book one we did.
Yeah, it was called... Man, I can't believe I can't find it in my notes. That sucks. It was called Pushing Darkness, I think is what it was called.
Oh.
And it was number 12 in the series. Well, I somehow got my hands on that one instead of book 1 of the Elvis Cole series. So I decided I am going to read the entire series, which I think is like 16 books.
Wow.
So I finished. I'm halfway done with book 2 now. And the cool things about these, there's a couple of things I really like. One is the first few books were written in the late 80s, early 90s. So you read things like he stopped and used a payphone.
Right.
Stuff, people forget about. Like he had to call information to get the address of a place. No internet, no phone to just pull it up and hit Google Maps.
Dial
He had to
411.
Yeah, he had to call information to get address of a place. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. And the other thing I like about the character is he's a chronic smartass. And so some of his witty stuff is internal dialogue, just like a little one-liner or stuff like that. A lot of times, even when he's dealing with his clients or the guy he's suspecting as to be the bad guy in this, or he's facing a life and death situation and, one wrong move and he gets his head blown off, and he's still a smart ass. And it's awesome. I just love it. When I read Chasing Darkness, not Pushing Darkness, Chasing Darkness, book 12, that came across a little bit, but the story was so good that I kind of just toned it out, maybe. I don't know. Either that or it's more serious of a book. But books 1 and 2 so far have been great as far as the comic relief. He has a partner named Joe Pike, who is basically, in Elvis Cole's words, a psychopath. He shows no human emotion whatsoever. He always wears dark, or mirrored sunglasses, so you can never see his eyes, even at night. He's a man of few words, that kind of a guy. And one of Elvis Cole's lines, he was talking to Joe Pike on the phone, and of course, he would say sentences, and Joe Pike would just say "all right" or something like that. And he hangs up with Joe Pike, and his internal dialogue is, Joe Pike thinks Clint Eastwood talks too much. It's that kind of humor. It's just good stuff. So I highly recommend picking these up and giving them a read. It's by Robert Crace, like the word Craig, but instead of the ending G, it's the ending S, so Crace.
Cool.
Book one was called The Monkey's Raincoat.
Yep.
And book two, which I am reading now, and of course is the one I can't think of the title.
Stalking the Angel.
That's the one. For some reason, Mickey Mouse is on the cover.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've got his books in order pulled up here on his website. You can go to robertcrace.com and get all of his stuff. He also has some movie credits to his name, to his writing. He wrote Bruce Willis's Hostage, and which I think is actually based off of one of his books, and he did a movie from 1998, The Invisible Man. But that's not the one I thought it was. I don't know. I don't think I've seen this one. But he was a writer for it. And there's Dylan Baker's in it.
Not Dylan Baker. Holy shit. I don't know who that is.
Dylan Baker is, he's been in a bunch of stuff. You'd know him if you saw him.
Yeah, but would he know me if he saw me?
No. He played Kurt Connors in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3.
All right.
That's still,
but anyway.
Still not helping you out?
No.
He has a crap ton of stuff to his acting resume.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, pick up Elvis Cole if you like detective books. He's a private eye, owns his own agency. He has a Pinocchio wall clock where the eyes move at the ticking of each second and that kind of thing.
Nice.
So he's a Vietnam vet. Maybe he's a little, I don't know, war weary, for lack of a better word. I wouldn't say he's got, was that PTSD? PTSD, thank you. I don't think he has that. I just think he's smart ass, smarter than everybody in the room kind of a guy.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Are they quick reads or?
They're like 300 pagers.
Yeah.
But the writing style is thus that you start reading it and it's easy to get through. The page turner, if you will.
Yeah.
It's just good stuff. I recommend it. It deals with heady subjects, as far as murder, and the one I'm reading is art theft. So that kind of thing. But there's enough comic relief in it and enough stuff where you're like, man, that was pretty brilliant. Or he'll talk about why they do certain things under certain situations, or why they could tell this person was lying. And it's like, oh, that's pretty fascinating stuff. So I like it quite a bit. I'm hoping, before I die, I get through all 16 books. We'll see how it goes.
Well, that's kind of cool. I'll have to go check some of those out. I like that kind of storytelling, and if it's a good page, if it's something that reads fairly quickly, then the page count's not as big of a problem for me. So, I will add that to my list. Elvis Cole books. Oh, right. Well, I don't have any books that I've been reading because, I'm sitting at my house. So, but I will say that I did get to play some board games. Labor Day weekend, actually, which was last weekend. And I didn't get to talk about this much because Eddie and I went on a much more serious topic. But Labor Day weekend was definitely a geek weekend for me. Friday night, I ended up watching Captain America: Civil War because that came out Friday night, and came out on streaming services. So, you could buy it on Amazon or Google Play or whatever those different, wherever you like to download your movies from. And but then I also broke out a new video game, broke out XCOM 2, which was a lot of fun, and I'll get into that here in a minute. But Sunday was our good friends over at Red Crow Brewery. They were having a growler sale. So we decided that as a family, we were going to go out and pick up some growlers we were going to go out that afternoon, sit out there, play some board games, get some growlers, and bring them back for our Labor Day party that night, our Labor Day get-together. So, and it ended up that my neighbor and his son came out, so there was actually 6 of us total that came out, and we brought 2 board games with us. We brought the Oregon Trail, and my neighbor Sean brought Dicecapades. Have you ever heard of Dicecapades?
I have not heard Dicecapades. I look forward to hearing your review of the game.
Dicecapades, we'll start with that one. That game is a load of fun. It is a really fun party game. It's for 2 to 6 players. The on Board Game Geek they recommend 3 to 4, but we played it with. I think Conley basically had kind of quit playing at that point. This was the second game we had played. So there was really only 5 of us playing. Played really quick. It wasn't that long of a game, but basically what it is there's 3 stacks of cards that are each a different color. There was red, yellow, and blue. And each color represented a certain thing. So, like, I think blue was action cards, and red was trivia cards. I can't remember what yellow was. But you roll this 6-sided dice that has the 3 colors on it. So there's 2 sides of each color. Roll the dice. That tells you which card you draw. You draw a card. You do what the card says. Sometimes the card's as simple as in 30 seconds, roll this kind of dice and this kind of dice. So they have like all different kinds. They have colored dice. They have 6-sided dice. They have 20-sided dice, 4-sided dice. They had a dice inside of a dice. So they had a glass, not really glass, clear plastic 6-sided dice with numbers on it. And then inside that clear dice was another 6-sided dice. So, and there was enough, it was a small enough dice that it would roll around independently. So one of the cards was to roll that dice until you matched the inside dice with the outside dice. And you had 30 seconds to do that. And if you did that, then you got that card. And the first person to get X number of cards, depending on the number of people you are playing with. With 5 people, it was 6 cards. You had to get 6 cards to win. It's actually a lot of fun. It's super simple. It goes so fast in between each person's turn that it's really kind of fun to watch what people have to do and see what that next card to come up with was. They had mini dice that were probably maybe an eighth of an inch by an eighth of an inch cubed. And then they had your normal 6-sided dice. And one of the cards that I drew was you had to stack these dice, mini, regular, mini, regular, mini, regular. You had to stack those up, and you had 30 seconds to get them to stack up.
Were you able to do it?
No, I wasn't able to do it. Part of it was probably because I had already had a couple beers at that point. The second was we were playing on an old picnic table, so that wasn't exactly a flat surface to begin with. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good game. I recommend checking it out. It got a 5.0 average rating on Board Game Geek, but I would probably, if you're a diehard gamer, especially a diehard board gamer, this game is probably going to bore you out of your mind. But to have a bunch of people just sitting around and playing it and needing something simple to just kind of more laugh at people, this game was great for that. So
it's a good party game, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's a very good party game. It's probably one that I'm going to add to my collection just so that we can play it with the kids sometimes, because it's super simple for the kids to play.
Well, that's true.
And I said that we played the Oregon Trail. Not only did we play the Oregon Trail, but we recorded our first victory in the Oregon Trail card game. Now, we all won, but I will say this, not all of us really won. It says in the rules that if one person makes it to the end, everybody wins. But my thought is, if you're dead, you're dead. You didn't win.
You didn't win, yeah.
I died first. Conley died second. We both died of a snake bite. Literally, I died of a snake bite, and then I'm going to guess that same damn snake came out and bit Conley. So we both died early on. And the four remaining people made it quite a bit before they lost another party member to dysentery. Because, of course, in the Oregon Trail, somebody has to die of dysentery. But
in the rules.
Yeah. My neighbor, Sean, my wife, Amber, and my oldest son, Reese, made it to Willamette, or what is it? Willamette, Oregon. That's where they're going. Willamette. So they actually won the game. It was, it's interesting. The rules in the game don't say anything about table talking, but you figure you're a group of people on a wagon train getting to Oregon. You're going to talk about what supplies you have and how you're going to overcome obstacles. That just makes sense to me. So pretty much allowed it. There wasn't any trading of stuff, but it allowed them to work out like, okay, this person is going to die if we don't do this and this, and trying to figure out how you're going to keep people alive as long as possible. I think that's actually a good part of the game, and was actually a lot of fun listening to these people try to strategize on how they were going to do that. And we can officially say that game is winnable because we did it once. I have played the game 4 times, and we've won once.
Well, maybe it's time to just retire the game then, since you beat it. It may never happen again. You don't want to tempt fate.
Yeah, that's it's sitting on the bookshelf over there. It'll probably never get opened again. We would just put the plastic on it now, call it completed.
Yeah, maybe bronze some of the cards or something.
Exactly. Well, and it's really great because Reese actually has a shirt that says "I survived the Oregon Trail," and it's really funny when he wears that to school because the kids don't have any idea what that is. but the teachers look at it and get a good laugh out of that shirt. So that's when you know you have a good teacher.
Does Reese know what it means?
He does now.
When you bought him the shirt, did he know what it meant?
No, I had to explain to him what it was. And I tried to explain it to him, but until he played the card game, he never fully understood how hard it was to complete the Oregon Trail. So, yeah. So, yeah, we had the board games, and then I got to play a little XCOM 2. I'm playing that one, enjoying that while just needed a little break from Assassin's Creed Rogue, and started playing some XCOM 2. That game is a lot of fun. If you like turn-based strategy games, it is definitely a game I recommend. They did an incredible job with it. The atmosphere that it creates is really good. It pushes you to make you feel like you need to play faster. But if you start playing too fast, you start making mistakes. And death in that game is permanent. So your characters, if they die on a mission, they're done. So if you have a high-ranking character that gets killed, you're screwed. That guy can't help you anymore. So he doesn't come back at the end of, for the next mission. He's out for good, and you've got to build up another character. So it's a lot of fun. It is a lot harder than the first one, and maybe it's because I upped the difficulty on it. I don't know. But it's beautiful to look at. The cutscenes with the characters is phenomenal. The atmosphere of the game, like just the visuals of the settings, you're landing in. The premise of the game is that the aliens have taken over. Everybody thinks the aliens are there to help, and you're part of a rogue faction that is trying to take the country back from the aliens. So you're having to be stealthful. You come into some missions concealed so that they don't know who you are, so you can get a little bit closer and set up some ambushes, which is a lot of fun. It's really satisfying when you set up an ambush and it actually works. That makes you feel good, and so it makes me want to keep playing that game. It is definitely going to go on the list of games that go on to Geek Vice Gaming. I'm not recording them right now. I'm just kind of playing for fun, but I'm enjoying it enough that here, once I'm done with Assassin's Creed Rogue, I will start recording some XCOM 2 stuff to go up. So
cool. Is it a single-player only game?
It has a multiplayer aspect to it. I have not played the multiplayer, so I don't know anything about it.
Online multiplayer or split screen?
I don't know, because I haven't played it. No idea, honestly. Let me see if the Googles will tell me.
Oh, the Googles.
XCOM 2 multiplayer. Yeah, of course it doesn't come up easily. There.
No, why would we want to do that?
So, well, that doesn't help me. I think it's online, and I think it's cooperative. Well, I'm almost positive it's cooperative. But I believe you can play it online. Somebody will come in and tell us, I'm sure. But I'll have to try that out. I'll have to give that a shot and see how that is. But it's a lot of fun to play, and it's coming out for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One here this month. I think the end of this month. So
yeah, I looked on Amazon. It was $60 to pre-order.
It sure is.
Which is, what a video game costs. So
yep. Now, if you were a computer gamer and you want to check out this game, I recommend checking out the Humble Bundle because this game is on sale for, I believe, 50% off. So I think it is like $30 on the Humble Bundle.
Nice.
This week only. Yeah, I posted the Humble Bundle on our Facebook page today because they are running a huge store-wide sale. All kinds of games that are on there, and they're on there for some pretty big deals. So if you are a computer gamer, go check them out because they've got some good deals right now.
Yeah. It's funny about PC games. So Thursday, Friday of last week, my company had a retreat for the IT department.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the IT department, even though I'm not an IT person. I am a trainer.
Right.
So I got to go. And the night we were there were some things set up for entertainment value. You could play poker or cards at an Xbox 360, or you could watch the Broncos-Panthers game. So everybody's watching the Broncos-Panthers game or playing cards, and the Xbox 360 is just sitting there, and it had like Call of Duty Ghosts. And I turned to one of the guys and said, "You want to play some Call of Duty?" And he's like, "No, I don't play console games. I only play on the PC."
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, all right. So then that spurred this whole talk about Steam games and all that stuff. And one of the guys plays WoW and all this other stuff. And made me realize that there's this whole console versus PC thing going on, at least with these IT guys. I suck, honestly, at playing PC keyboard and mouse games.
Uh-huh.
I just don't have it. It's too many buttons for this physical mind to handle. I
will tell you this. I was the same way. The one nice thing about PC games, you can get a wired PlayStation controller or a wired Xbox controller, and they are USB compatible. You plug them in, and there are a lot of games that you can play using a controller like this.
Is that how you play your Steam games?
That is how I play most of my Steam games. There are a couple, like XCOM 2 does not support controller, but it's a turn-based game, so it's not a quick twitch, have to hit these buttons in the right order, have to move, like a first-person shooter. I used to be really good with a keyboard and mouse, but I stopped using it for so long, stopped playing video games on there for so long that just kind of went downhill pretty quick. I was never really good, but I was at least better than I was on a controller. But for XCOM 2, using a keyboard and mouse isn't a big deal because it's a much more slow, methodical, since it's turn-based. You make your moves, and then when you're done, and the aliens then go. So it's
yeah. Well, it just has me thinking. I've been a console gamer for ever. Really, the only PC games that I played that translated to what console games are was that Strike Force. Is that what it was called? First-person shooter game. It makes me think, though, that as fast as the console technology keeps moving, and been seen in the news that we'll call it the PS4 Generation 2, I guess. I don't know what the hell call it, is coming out. And, it's 4K video and all this other stuff. And the technology just seems to be just jumping rapidly. And it just makes me wonder if it's be worth my time to just go to PC gaming and forego the console.
Well,
I'm unsure. And my Xbox 360 got a lot of years
yeah.
use out of it.
And that's the part that scares me the most. I hit a point with my computer. So I played a bunch of computer games there for a while. I played games like Civilization 4, and I played even older games like StarCraft, Warcraft. This was before World of Warcraft. I played games like Counter-Strike and Half-Life on my computer, but there became a point, and I think it was actually with Civilization 4, I got to a point where my computer would no longer run that game. It became so old and so clunky that I couldn't even run older games on it. I couldn't run Jack on it, and I didn't have the disposable income to go buy a new computer or to try to piecemeal the one that I had to upgrade it enough to be able to play more games. So that's when I got an Xbox 360. And from there, I'd had the PlayStation 2 before that, but it had just kind of gotten to the point where I needed a new system, and my choice was between a console or a computer. And a computer was going to cost me quite a bit more than the console, and I wasn't really going to get anything else out of a new computer. I couldn't justify spending the money on a computer when my computer did what I needed to do. I just couldn't play the games, and I could get the games on a console. And at that time, a lot of games that I wanted to play, like the Assassin's Creed series and things like that, Fable, were all coming out for the consoles first and then coming out for the PC. So it didn't really matter which, going console route just means I got to play the games earlier. But what I've run into now is just the cost of the consoles and the fact that the consoles are not, they're not lasting very, very long anymore. I mean, we're talking 2 years that the PS4's been out, and they're already putting out new hardware for it. It's the same thing. You've got the Xbox One S now, the slim version of it. And then they're talking about, next year they're talking about having a whole new version of the Xbox One. The next, the next generation is only a couple years away, and I can't afford to spend the $400 to $600 on a new console every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and, that's the deal is,
and especially if they're not going to include backwards compatibility.
Yeah, and that said as well, I can't remember how much I paid for my PS4. Maybe it was $500, maybe it was $600. I can't remember. That's probably still about half the price of a good gaming computer. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. You can get a good gaming computer for anywhere between, if you're looking on it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a desktop or a laptop, if you want to go laptop, you're going to pay a little bit more. So you're probably looking at about $1,200.
Yeah, and it would be a laptop for me.
Yeah. You could probably get away with something at maybe $1,000, but yeah, you're looking at more than.
So, say a console lasts 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
For $1,200, that's 8 years of console gaming. But it's 2 consoles.
Right.
I don't think I'll get 8 years out of a laptop.
Well, you might not get 8 years out of a laptop, but think of it this way. when the games cost you $2 to $5 as opposed to $60, it's a whole different ball game.
See, these are things that I need to talk about because
I mean, because
there's the hidden cost of console ownership, and then there's the hidden bargains of PC ownership.
Yeah, because I mean,
I haven't dug in enough.
Yeah, you don't need Xbox Live, and you don't need a PlayStation View or whatever it is, or whatever.
Plus.
PlayStation Plus. You don't need that. You can go to stuff like. So I'm just pulled up Humble Bundle right now and looking at games like, because I think Call of Duty is actually in here. Who makes Call of Duty? Activision? No.
Treyarch.
Here we go. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is $30. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is $10.
Oh yeah, that's an old game. Let's see what it is.
What Modern Warfare 3, is that fairly new?
So Black Ops 3 is the newest one.
Black Ops 2.
And I can get it for $29.09 on Amazon for my PS4.
I'm looking. It might not actually be in this one. What's in the franchise pack? Oh shit. Yeah, that's all. That's 1 and 2 in every map pack known to man in that one. Looking. Here, let me just do a search. Black Ops 3 is $29.99 on Humble Bundle right now.
Yeah, so it's basically the same.
But
like I said, on Amazon I can get it for $29.09.
Yeah.
With Prime.
Right.
New.
Well, there it is. And some of them, it does. Now, if you're going to try to buy day and date games on PC, you are going to pay the same. You're going to pay the same price, maybe a little bit less, because sometimes the PC games will come out $50 instead of $60 occasionally. But you can also find games. The question is whether or not you want to play the game immediately, or if you're just offset a little bit. So when I didn't buy XCOM 2 when it first came out because I was busy playing other games. So I waited a little bit. The price on that thing dropped, and I think I paid $35 for it. Now you can get it for $25 or $30. I think it was $30 now. I'm trying to find it again.
I'm also curious. So I have the PS4. I have PlayStation Play, or Plus, sorry.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this on here before. There's not a ton of people playing it online.
Right.
I can still get into some games, but, the Team Deathmatch has like 33% of the people on that. And then there's 2 others that are just around 10%, and the rest of them are 2%, 1%, and 0%. And it's like, some of those I want to play, but you can't get in on a game because there's not enough people. I wonder if there's more people on the Xbox side or if there's more people on the PC side. That's something I need to look up. I know we've asked this question before.
I don't know that one. You can find some different games out there. There's a lot more indie games in the PC market than there is in the console ones, I think partly because of the ease of making games for PC. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, but I also know that there's going to be I'm going to hit a point with my computer that the games are going to get beyond what my computer can handle. But what I'm hoping is that when it hits that point, I will still be able to play these other games that are, there's always going to be smaller title games that come out that are a lot of fun and really cool, like Penny Arcade's games, or you can pick up you can get Fallout 4 for $30 now. You can get or just playing just some older games that came out that I missed out on, and I can go back and get them for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
That's kind of the cool part, is being able to go back and play some of your other games. And I actually repurchased. Well, and that's the other thing. You watch Humble Bundle, and you can pay. I paid $7 and got 15 games. So
there you go.
And now, some of the games I don't want to play, some of the games I'm not interested in, but paying $15 for the 2 games that I wanted to play is still way better than paying, $60 for 1 game that I want to play.
Yeah.
So there's plus and minuses to all of it, but I'm enjoying it. So
yeah, it just has me curious, and it just may be a PS4 problem. It just seems like there's a lot less people playing Call of Duty. But, when I was on the Xbox 360, I didn't seem to notice that.
Right.
Different generation. That's Microsoft. I'm just not sure. I just did a quick search, and there's no clear numbers there either.
Right. Yeah, and as far as IT people not playing console games and only playing computer games, that's pretty normal, because those guys can build their own computers fairly easily and can do that while they're sitting at work, because they're building computers at work too. So the ability to throw a computer together in a matter of minutes is an added benefit to playing computer games, because you can constantly upgrade your computer to keep it at where you need to play whatever game it is you want to play. So
absolutely, it's just something I have to think about when it's time to buy another console. We'll see how long the PS4 goes. If it still goes for a pretty good length of time, I'll probably just go ahead and get the next generation of console.
Right.
If it has a short lifespan, I may consider going PC.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm in that boat. I'm not buying a new console. I'm not buying a new console yet. That's for sure. So maybe down the road I will. Before we end tonight, I want to throw out there, I watched Captain America: Civil War. I know a lot of people gave high praise for that movie. I thought the movie, I would say 3/4 of it was really good. I will not say that the ending was bad, but I will say my frustration with this, with the lack of intelligence that they give main characters, is really starting to tick me off.
Give me an example.
Batman versus Superman, they stopped fighting because the two of them have the same, their moms have the same name.
Yes, that was the dumbest thing.
That is dumb. Captain America: Civil War. Spoilers here, people. If you don't want spoilers, turn it off now and come back later, or just deal with it, because this is the end of Civil War. The fact that Tony Stark knows what the Winter Soldier went through, knows what Bucky Barnes went through, knew that he was brainwashed and that he did bad things, and he knows that the guy who's showing him the information shows him that Bucky killed his parents, has been playing them the entire time. Tony Stark is so stupid that he starts fighting Captain America and Bucky Barnes. That's dumb. You know who started this. You know what he's doing. He's trying to manipulate you, and you're so stupid that you can't see it. I get the build-up to the whole movie, that this guy, this mastermind behind the scenes, is pulling strings to get them to fight each other. To me, that makes perfect sense, and I was okay with that. But the fact that Tony Stark couldn't realize it when it's right there in front of his face ticks me off. Don't make your characters dumb. Like, I'm sorry, if I've already found out that that the guy standing next to me has been played and he didn't do the stuff that he said they were going to do, and then you're going to show me a video of him doing something again, whether he did it or not, aren't you going to be at least a little skeptical? Not skeptical. Yeah, skeptical. That's the word I'm looking for. Wouldn't you question it just a little bit? Wouldn't you look at the guy showing you the information and go, wait a second, you were the one that wanted me to believe he did something else back there that he didn't do. Why should I believe you that he did this?
Those are good points, and that was the problem I had with the movie itself. Is we know all the manipulation that went on with Bucky Barnes. We know that he did things, and he doesn't have any control over his actions.
Right.
And then to immediately take your team and destroy it from the inside because of that, I had a huge problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, I was okay with it in the sense that up to a point. I was okay with it up to the point where Tony was shown the Winter Soldier killing his parents. At that point, I just look at it and go, okay, you have got to realize that there is something else going on here. Like, you already know. You've been told that there's something else going on here. You have been brought into the light, and then all of you forget all about that? No, he's supposed to be the smartest guy in the Marvel Universe. He's supposed to be the billionaire philanthropist that can, or, entrepreneur that makes money grow out of nothing.
Yeah. I can understand his reaction. I can understand being distraught and pissed and wanting revenge, but he should have been smart enough to realize the person he's going after wasn't the right person to be going after.
Right.
Go after the guy pulling the strings.
Yeah, stop the guy pulling the strings first, then deal with Bucky Barnes. And whether you want, that would have played out so much better. And I'm also pissed off that in this movie, Captain America didn't die.
Oh, give it time. There's another movie.
I was really not that I want Captain America to die, but that was the catalyst for the comic books, and I thought it was a very good catalyst. It was something that set up that it was a rift that created between more than just Tony versus Cap. There was more to it than that, and it allowed for the division and the Civil War side of it to feel a little bit more real. I felt like the characters that chose which side they were on, like, it was wishy-washy. Like, it was, even the Black Widow. I mean,
yeah, she
picked Tony Stark's side, but she constantly helped Captain America. It's like, so the idea of a civil war is ideology based, and there was no ideology in this. There really wasn't. It wasn't.
Find vengeance.
Yeah, it wasn't enough of it. So the movie's good. I wouldn't rank it up there as one of my tops. There's some other Marvel movies that I like better, but I will say it leaps and bounds better than Batman vs Superman. So,
oh, without a doubt, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that makes the two on the same parallel. It's just Batman versus Superman was bad, start to finish, and there was a few nitpicky things we could say about Civil War, and we just did.
Right.
But holy cow, those two movies are so different.
Yeah.
One's good and one is a dumpster fire. So.
Well, and the next one on my list is I've just purchased X-Men Apocalypse, which did not get such great reviews, so I'm gonna watch that one here hopefully before next week. We'll have to see how the week goes.
Yeah, I won't tell you my opinion on that one. I'll let you watch it, and then we can compare notes.
There you go. I like it. So tune in next week when we talk about that. I think that's going to be it for today. For tonight's episode, we've already gone over a little bit. But just for some people to know, keep an eye on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. You can follow that man at Kip Killigan. You can follow me at GeekVice. And you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/GeekVice. We're going to be trying out some new software, and I'm going to try to run some streams, and I'm going to need some people to with some possible chat functions. So I'm going to need to test these out, so I'm going to need some people to tune in. So follow us on there, and when I go live, feel free to jump in and I don't know, see if you can break the system. We're trying some new things out, possibly a new format, or not new format, but a new way of doing our recordings, so we can make things just a little bit better. So again,
brave new world.
Yeah, you can also follow us on our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com, and you can also follow us on our YouTube channel at tiny.cc/geekvice. That is tiny.cc/geekvice. And, of course, you can always email us at geekvice@gmail.com. And we will see you next week.
Later.